Music. Yeah.
Milsurp Garage. All right, what do we got today? Springfield Stevens Model 84C. These are like the most basic, bare bones 22. Wow, pretty long barrel there, huh? That you get out there. It's actually not long, but for some reason, 24-inch barrel. But I don't know. That just really seems like it's reaching out there. These things are tough to research. You would think just your basic bare bones 22, there really wouldn't be much going on. But man, they're convoluted, and the comments are really going to be helpful here in number one, probably correcting some of the stuff that I said wrong, but also to add in stuff that I didn't even know I didn't know. But if you don't know it, it's not so bad to not know what you don't know. But help me out here, guys. If you have any info, it's going to be a lot of, hopefully a lot of viewer input here. So what's the story here? We got bolt action. Okay. We got clip fed here. Interestingly enough. Yeah, it's tough to get it out. Yeah, you got that. Let's see. This is just a weird position. We're going to go cross. That's what we're going to do. I need my right thumb because this is a strong resistance fit. I could make this less of a resistance fit, but I think it's supposed to be this way. I don't want to mess around, and then you should not screw around with how these magazines locate into these. I'll show you in a bit exactly why. But yeah, you've seen these mags before. This isn't stamped with any identifier. I got this rifle for $100, okay? Out the door. I don't even think it was even a little less than 100. It was kind of involved in a deal with other stuff. And I was like, what about that one? And it was like really just rounding off to the nearest 100. So it really wasn't even a full 100. This seems to be the mag that comes with it. But interestingly enough, I have this guy that's just always been sitting around in a little parts bin that I have. You can see it's a little different. This center rib between these two slots there is definitely wider here. And it's a little bit different on the back here. This is just a teeny notch, and this is like a wider notch. But just in general, they do appear to be the same. And this is this right here is a Remington. This is a Remington Mag. And like I said, I didn't even have I don't know where I even acquired this. It was just in some parts bin that I bought or something once to just get a couple of parts out of it, but it just came with the whole bin. I have all kind of weird stuff like that, and I just when I saw this, when I pulled out this, I said, you know what, I have one of those, and I looked and it says Remington on it, but we'll take a look. We'll see later if it actually works. Also a little different here. Size of that notch different than this notch. We'll take a look and see if that matters. But 5-round mags. You could get like any. I mean, they make longer ones that are 10-rounders. I've seen people also modify. Definitely get out grinders and modify some other types of mags to fit that have 10 rounds. But for me, I kind of like the flush fit. That's good enough for me, you know. And very rudimentary here. Triggers rudimentary. Bolts awfully rudimentary. Like typically with these, you squeeze the trigger, you get the bolt out. Now this thing was ratty. I did some, I videoed some of the like resto I did here with this bolt, but I just trashed it all. All you really see is the back of my hands. It's just terrible video. It just didn't come out well. So I wanted this to be like a project video kind of, but it wasn't working out. And there were just a lot of stumbling blocks. There was a lot of scratching my head over what to do with this bolt, how to get it back together, and would have been an incredible amount of editing. So we'll just settle for the summation, okay? Like it was all gouged up and scratched up really bad. You can still see there's a lot of gouges and scratches still in it. But this is after some sanding and then sanding very, very fine sandpaper. And I have even finer steel wool, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to get any pieces inside, because I try as I might, I wanted to get in here. I got this off. It's all a lot of pins you got to punch out. There's a pin. It's a weird pin there. See how it doesn't even go through the center? It's like a edge pin. And a pin here that you have to knock out, but it doesn't go out all the way because this edge that sticks out actually does something here. So not only is it a pin, but it's also a block that's integral into how it functions. So you can't really, you got to be really careful with knocking around with it. Again, simple does not necessarily mean, you just go at it and just tear it all apart. And it's pretty exacting with how you have to take stuff apart here and put it back together. So I didn't want to get in there with the steel wool, but I need right now, at this point that it's at right now, I need like a really nice buffing wheel. And while I could do some buffing, I don't have like a big, nice, big, huge buffing wheel, like a karting wheel. I just need to like buff this to a mirror shine all around, every angle and every piece of it all along here. Because it's not really as smooth as it should be sliding in and out of the receiver. I don't even know if these rings feel smooth in there, but it's awfully rough. You're never going to get these things like mint and smooth feeling like, like my Winchester bolt action. These are like quality. This is like, this will function, but, it's going to be a little rougher. But just from me watching online how people cycle their bolts, so if anybody could help, when I cycle my bolt, it gets to here, it's supposed to use the edge of the bolt here as a cam, because this is the locking lug. It's supposed to use the edge of the bolt right here as a cam to push down to cam it into place. You can see how that's angled right there, but you see how it's off? Like it doesn't line up right. And on the bolt, if you take a look on the bolt over here, there's a relief cut. See that? That little angled cut right there? And that angled cut is supposed to line up so when you get to this point, when you slide it forward, because it cocks on opening. So see how, if I close it, let me close it in. I'll pull the trigger so I decock it. So it's decocked right now. So now you watch when I open it, you're going to see it. That's what cocks it. I think partially. Cocks it halfway. And then when you come in here, the second half, that edge hooks on the sear and you pull forward the rest of the way to cock it the rest of the way. And it's supposed to use the camming here just by pushing down, but it doesn't. If I push down, it's not lined up right. I could kind of mill the edge of the receiver right here. I could cut it to line up with that relief in the bolt, but I'm not messing around. If you push forward hard enough, you get it past that. But it just makes it, it's not as smooth as it should be. If anybody has any insight that maybe I have something in the bolt put together wrong, like I said, I couldn't fully get in there. There's a C-clip that right here, see it? That goes halfway through the bolt. And inside there's like a plunger. The spring is in here. And there's a video online from a nice young gentleman. He shows how he makes a tool out of like a spent shell. He makes a tool out of a spent shell that has like a half cut in it that slides in here to push the plate in so you could get that C-clip out. I tried. He definitely has a great idea going there, but I tried, but I was unsuccessful at this point. So I couldn't really get in there to clean what's going on in there. And, yeah. So what do we look? Dual claw extractors. See, these things aren't fooling around. There's the firing pin right there. And I think the firing pin in mine is broken. I think it's supposed to be one piece. I kind of got two pieces, but they line up in a channel, one piece behind the other. So I think they kind of just held together anyway. But I think it is broken. Haven't fired it yet, so we'll see. But I'm pretty sure it's working. The firing pin does protrude far enough out where it would be hitting the rim fire. And also, when I got this, it needed to be swaged. Do you know what that is? Swage in here. I'm going to throw up some pictures. So the firing pin of a rimfire hits the edge of the opening to the breech. That's where it pinches the rim of the cartridge to set off the primer. That's spun into the rim of the cartridge, hence rim fire. On centerfires, if you dry fire them, I mean, you could do some damage to the internals inside that aren't cushioned, but for the most part, the firing pin is just going to kind of end up in empty space right in the middle of where the cartridge would be. But and it just strikes the cartridge alone. But rim fire, it relies on pinching the rim between the breech, the edge of the breech, and the firing pin. So if you don't have the round in there, the firing pin's going to hit the edge of the breech, the barrel, right at the the top of the barrel. And if it hits there long enough, it'll actually malform the metal there, which will allow the cartridge case, the cartridge, not to be able to go in. Or more importantly, sometimes it goes in because it has you pushing it in, but pulling it out is harder. Hence the dual claw extractors on this guy, number one. But this is what happens with rim fires, and that's why, a lot of you remember your dad going like, don't dry fire it, don't dry. A lot of that, it's like older people telling young people not to dry fire. But you don't really hear that later on in life, because like later on in life, everybody's kind of off the rim fire for the most part. Rim fire is really, if you're an adult messing with rim fires, I'm not coming down on you. I mean, I got freaking 100 of them. But, like rim fire is just notoriously what you would start with as a kid when you're developing your habits, And there would be a lot of adults that would say, don't dry fire it, it hurts the gun. Kind of like when you get older, you're like, well, they even write what they're talking about? I don't know, you can pretty much dry fire anything, you know what I mean? But it is true, because you probably were messing with a rim fire. And there's some guns, like the Ruger 1022, I've heard, does not use that design where it pinches the rim between the breech and the firing pin. So supposedly you could just dry fire a 1022 all day. Ruger designed it to not cause any damage, but you never know with any rim fires. That could be a problem. It was a problem with this guy. I couldn't even chamber a round, so it had to be swaged. So a swage, however it's pronounced, swage, you just basically stick in like a triangle-shaped piece of metal, and you turn it, and it kind of forces the metal back up out of the way. I wouldn't exactly say it's a 100% repair, but it definitely it fixes it enough where the round could get in and out, and then stop dry firing. That's the bottom line. If you can get it to function after a swage, you're good. But if you keep dry firing and then swaging, dry firing, swage, it's not a fixed end all where you could just always go like, well, I'll dry fire all I want, I'll just swage it. It doesn't work that way. If it's been hit enough, I don't know, like eventually that crater where the firing pin is hitting gets so large that the swage doesn't even push metal back into it, and then I don't think it would strike the rim well enough to set off the round, or maybe the cartridge would start to split in that area because there's a lot of space by the edge of the edge of the case. Who knows? Bottom line, learn how to use a swage if you have this issue, and then don't dry fire anymore. All right, so where are we? Let's take a look at what this thing actually is, huh? Here's what we could look at first. Let's get it out of the way. We'll take a closer look at it in a minute. Yes, I thought this video was going to be short. Evidently, there's no such thing as a short Milsurp Garage video. I want to get rid of the glare. All right, so Numrich reference guide for parts. This is just kind of like their catalog. And yeah, you think this company has been around a long time and sells gun parts? What do you think? Ooh, yeah, I'd say yeah. So it's a good reference guide to use. I couldn't find any information in any of these books that is supposed to be talking about guns, even rimfire books, to really to give all the model numbers. Is this right? No, it's over here. Sorry. This is it. Oh, wait. In the right spot? Yeah, this is it. Over here. But this catalog has it. So what is this thing? This is the 84C. So there it is right there. But this is the Savage 4M. Oh, I think that would be 22 Magnum. Or 4C. No, it has... Oh, I'm sorry. It's 4C, 4CD, 4D, 4E. Also, the 4M, which is apparently 22 Magnum. Gotcha. Stevens model is 56C. I've seen that this model is... It's one of the... definitely one of these. They all look the same. They have a little differences here and there. 84C, 84CD, 84D, 84E. Obviously, maybe these are also Magnum chamberings for the Savage. Don't know. And then you go like, hey, where's that Springfield name? That was just some weird name that Savage, that Stevens glommed onto. I don't know. And then there's a one that's a 5. It's kind of like these numbers are the same. It's basically the same rifle, but it's a tube magazine, an underbarrel tube magazine. So this would be the guy that we're going with. But once again, they're similar. Look at all the different model numbers here. If all the change is only the magazine tube, and look at all these different model numbers. So you would go crazy trying to match these things. And let me show you. Here's that C clip. All right, wait. There's that C clip right there. See it? So here's the cocking piece. Here's that C clip that I was talking about, and then there's this ring behind it, and then this spring with this part of the firing pin. The firing pin comes in a few different pieces. So then there's this part of the firing pin. It goes in like this part of the bolt here where the 42 is. And then on the other side, here's that pin I was talking about that goes like kind of like diagonally through it. And then there's another section of, oh, maybe, so, all right, maybe there are supposed to be 2 pieces here. I thought maybe this was supposed to be 1 piece and mine was broken. Oh, no. I have this and this. So mine is broken. Hold on. Let me get, I need a pointer. So I think mine is broken. I think here, this piece, I think I have this and I have this. So right here, like it's separated, but since it's all together inside this channel, it's just all lined up anyway. And there's a little spring that goes on the tip here. Yeah, so I have that, this barrel-y looking part, and this thinner part. It's separated right there. So I need this part. I should call Numberich. Hey, I got the catalog right here. Let's circle this, actually. I'm going to call Numberich and see if they have that. Why not? What the hell? It'd be like it's $80. Like that's 80%, 90% of the cost of what I paid for the rifle. And then here's the rest of the bolt body with the 2. Here's the 2 claw extractors and the 2. I guess these are the pins and the springs that hold those in along the line here somewhere, right? And yeah, I couldn't get in there, and it couldn't receive a full cleaning. Let's put it that way. So those are the different model numbers. Now, where else? I got a little bit more information. It's funny how. God bless Numberich. And then here's the Encyclopedia of Modern Firearms. This is Brownell's book. And I got a place mark in here. So where are we? So here we go. So Brownell's, same deal. Back in the day, they sold mad parts too. I don't know if you call Brownells now. You could buy all these little parts out of a catalog like this, but this is kind of like the same thing. This was their catalog, but this is older. But same deal. I wonder if is this the same picture that Numberich had? Looks awfully similar. Yeah, there's that. You can see it a little bit better. So here's the cocking piece. Here's the cocking piece with the pin that goes through the cocking piece. That only goes like 3/4 of the way through. It has to stick out, which is weird. You'd think you have to hammer it flat, and then you could mess it up. It only goes into a certain point, and then that's it. There's that C-clip and the ring that goes behind that. So you have to, the guy's shell casing, he cut it halfway, so it was just like half the shell casing, if you know what I mean. What did I do with that? So what that young gentleman did to make a removal tool was he cut off like half of the edge of the cartridge back to about, like 1/4 of an inch. So it was just a half moon. so that you could push it in. You'd push it inside this tube here, inside the bolt, and only half of it would go past the C-clip, and you'd be able to push this ring, which held this spring, captive. And then it would loosen the load on the C-clip, and you'd be able to just lift it right out. Now, it really is, there must be a special tool. There really must be. And it was a little crazy. Now, when did they make these things? And then again, here's the 5C and all the 5 Model 5, 5A. Same gun, basically. Same internals. I mean, there's the C-clip, there's the cocking piece. It's all the same. It's just it's going to probably have different feeding mechanism. It's all got to be added in here. Obviously, it's like, looks like it's right around in this area, because there needs to be a lifter and everything to take it up out of the tube mag. But other than that, same gun. And it's refreshing to have, you know, one of these little box magazines for a change. My Walnut and Steel by Bill Ward. This is the original Walnut and Steel, not volume 2. Does have it in here as the Savage Model 4. And reading through it, not many pictures, but here's a picture of one. They all seem to look better than mine. But I got some information from the book and from looking at different options and looking online and pouring things over. So dating for this rifle is not easy. It's not. But here's what I can come up with. This is the best I could do for this one, I'm saying. Here's what I came up with. 1933 to 1965 is the existence for this thing across all models. So I don't know if they made the 84C back in 33. I don't know if it lasted till 65. But I do know that this gun was made under any of those weird model numbers. If I just looked at all of them together, the most information I could come up with is they started in 1933 with that Model 4, and they were made all the way to 1965 by who knows what model number. This one I had broken down to 1940 to 1948, somewhere in there. And then over the last week, poking around doing some more research for this video, I found a little bit more information regarding the type of material that the trigger guard is made out of and that it's painted black, and the type of stock that it has. So apparently this trigger guard is 45 and later, and this stock, they stopped making it 48. So I could put it 45 to 48. That's not bad for a 3-year gap. These things have no serial numbers. And there's certain years that have like on the receiver, there's a thing online that you find that Savage dated them with a letter code inside of a box or something like that. But not on this one. It was too early for that even. So just from the features that I see, that's what I would go with. 1945 to 1948 for this guy, if you were interested. But some of these were around in 33. Apparently, they went all the way to 65. So we got a plastic butt plate here, but nice quality. It's not one of those, I've seen really cheesy ones. This is thick and heavy and strong. So for a nice beat around 22 that you're going to be standing up against trees out there in the dirt, this is a nice, strong, solid butt plate. The stock is nice. It's nice, strong wood. It's got some kind of number like kind of burned into there. I don't know what that is. I've never seen another one with that, so I don't know if that was something that was done in mass with a bunch that some place owned or something, or what the hell it is. I don't know, you know what I mean? It looks professionally done, like it's stamped in or something. Like it's some Boy Scout camp that had 100 of these, you know what I mean? And they numbered each one, something like that. It looks like a private numbering. Here's the safety. And the safety is weird. I don't want to test it out because, again, I don't want to dry fire, but I did have the safety on once, like testing it, and pulled the trigger and it fired. And that was like after the swage. So I was like, oh my God, I just dry fired it again. This firing pin hits hard. That's why I'm not sure if this bolt is set up correctly in that it has to like charge so hard right here. But this is how I see everybody else's cocking piece look when it's charged. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it hits awful hard. There's no rim fire cartridge that's not going to go off. unless it's just not going to go off. There's going to be no light hits with this guy, trust me. So it is a takedown too. Let's check that out. Man, that must be important. We doing Milsurp Garage videos, man. Back off. So it is truly a takedown rifle. Even though this just might be like a disassembly screw kind of thing. The fact that it didn't take the mag out, gotta have the mag out. We're gonna do that cross thing again, sorry. Oh, we gotta make sure we have it. I done messed up, Ron. We're gonna screw it back in again, because now when I push, I'm just pushing that through. The stock up, cross, get the strong thumb. Oh man, that is not falling out by itself. I'll tell you right now. See, all of these things that you might think make it crude, honestly, they just make it like infallible. Like that mag will never come out by mistake, ever. And there is no 22 shell that will not succumb to that firing pin. So pretty cool, right? I mean, how more basic can it be? We've seen how basic these Savage, Steven, Springfield-y things can be. Even as like semi-autos or with the magazine tube. Like no more magazine tube here now. You just have an integrated what did I just do with the magazine? That's right here. You have an integrated lifter and everything like that, like right here inside the mag. So it's just a box that comes out that has all of that involved. So you don't even have to worry about a feeding mechanism anymore. So it's basically just the most rudimentary, pushed around in, lock it, extractors that could pull it out, and this trigger mechanism here that drops this bar that releases the sear and allows the spring-loaded striker inside the bolt, firing pin assembly and everything to come forward under spring pressure. Boom. And all the safety does, it's just literally, this is why it doesn't work so great. It's just a block right here. See, the trigger has to come up over here to work. So all the safety does is push this here. I can do it right from here. It just pushes this in the way. A little closer. Oh, it doesn't quite look as clean as I thought it was when I was done. Yeah, all this does is get in the way right there so that you can't pull the trigger. But watch, if I pull the trigger, watch what I'm seeing. See how it like squeezed it out of the way? This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have safety protocols. We don't have like safeties on a gun. They go off, the gun is safe. The safety's on. No, it is not. The safety is a mechanical thing. And sure, here, we're stopping the trigger. I'm trying to pull the trigger and it's stopping it. But if you get like some animal that pulls it really hard, it's just not quite, see that? It's just not quite in there enough to do. I mean, you can't trust anything but not using live ammo to fool around. Only put live ammo when you're actually going to shoot. Only load it when you're actually going to be using it or shooting it. And, then the whole 10 commandments, don't point it at anything you don't want to destroy. Don't point it at anything that you don't want to die. The whole 9. Read and obey all rules regarding safety, because that safety don't really care about your safety. It's just a mechanical device that's only going to work as well as it's mechanically designed or made or functioning. It does. The word safe is a bad name for the safety. In my opinion, it shouldn't be called a safety. It should be called like a no-go, possible no-go switch. PNGS. Pingus. It should be called a pingus. All right. I obviously haven't had my coffee. All right, there you go. Maybe that'll set my brain in the right. We're half an hour in. We're half an hour into a video that I thought was going to take 10 minutes. See, that's what I love about this hobby. All right, the mag. Let's get into the mag. Check this out. See that? See that? It's kind of cool, right? Savage. That's savage right there. See, that's what happens. Look. Just makes like one unit. See that? See, I've seen a bunch of videos on this rifle, but nobody went like that. Nobody did that. That's how you pick the round up right out of the mag. So, it has to be pretty exacting where this magazine ends up when it's in the gun, right? Oh, wrong way. So when it goes in here, boom, right there. It has to locate right there. See, like if I pull, push, whatever, it's not moving. And then what happens is the bolt slides over it, and that, well, you saw. I don't know, you're not going to see anything from here, but the bolt slides over it, and those two rails go right around the magazine to pick up the round. So let's, every time I put it in the gun, I got to remember that I'm going to have to struggle to get it out. Well, that one was easier to get it out. So you'd think that it goes this way because of all the space on this side after the cut, but no. They only go in that smidgen, that little bit after the cut and back. 5 rounds. We're using our little 22 dummy rounds. No realistic snap caps here because they don't make 22s. Which, listen, these aren't really true snap caps. They're truly just called dummy rounds because snap caps denote you can pull the trigger on them. I wouldn't. You're going to protect the edge of the bore there. You will, but these are just aluminum, and you're just going to one shot here, and you're gonna probably crack this and knock a chunk out of this with this firing pin. You cannot dry fire on these without damaging them. But if you have to test it out or something like that to see if it's hitting, I guess you could without damaging the gun, probably. But it's not brass that's in there, it's aluminum. So I don't know if the firing pin strikes that. Maybe it can damage the bore. Aluminum, that aluminum is probably stronger than brass. Don't know. So let's zoom in here a little bit. And this thing ejects like a psycho. Oh, I didn't show you the eject. There's an ejector in there as well. It's like a hooked piece of steel that is also not fooling around. So I don't want to lose any of these things. But basically, picks it right up like that out of there. And then, like I said, that charging is to push forward and turn down. And after firing, I can't dry fire it, but after firing, the extractor, there you go, that's not all that bad right there. So it's good. I'm proud of this because it was not feeding, and I did all of this without actual rounds, just using these dummy rounds. I have a problem with that third one turning down. It's funny that it happens to the third one. Let's see, see how it's turning down? It's pushing downwards, but I just give it like a little rightening right there. Huh. It is interesting. There's a little, look, it's pointed up. It wants to go. What's the problem? I'm thinking if it was, there you go, just a little shot. I'm telling you, if they were real rounds, it wouldn't be doing this. The snap caps start to get chewed up. See, it's so chewy. It's chewy. I can't even push it out with my fingers, so you don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. It's stuck. This one's stuck. Why did it get stuck? Sure. I'm a 22 snap cap, and I'm going to ruin this guy's video. What happened here with this guy? Why doesn't this guy want to come out all of a sudden? How could that just be that jammed in there? I'm pushing it. It should just come forward, right? Crazy. Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know. Resetting like the spring. All right, I'm going to do the last two just to show you that it is functioning. That third one, man, did seem to be having problems with the third one. All right. I'm done with the whole cycling thing. Whoa! What did I cut my hand on? I cut my finger. I was like, what's wet over here? This thing cut me. Cut me, Mick. All right, of course. I cut my finger. And I gotta take a long motorcycle ride today, and I cut my finger. It's never good. It's never good. All right, what I don't do for you guys. I can't believe this thing hurt me. Now what do I do? I'm gonna go through the rest of the video spewing. All right, so This is the only other thing I wanted to discuss was this Remington Mag. But since the mag that goes with it didn't even work right, I'm gonna figure out what that is. It's I guarantee you it's chewed up. It's the chewed up snap caps. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Well, basically, what I wanted to show you about. Just waiting for it to stop. I must have been the edge of the receiver. It's very sharp. And I was sticking my finger around in there, and that's what must have happened. Or the edge of the magazine, too, because it rubs on the back. So I bet you that's what it was. Working my finger along the edge of the magazine like that. It's like a freaking razor blade. Yeah, careful with that. So here's the Remington one. What I wanted to show you is that it goes in the freaking gun. And the difference is that you could pull it down if you grab it with your fingers because that notch is larger. So if the notch was smaller, I could enlarge it to fit, but it's actually the notch is larger. So you see, if it sits right there, it sits in the right spot here, and it works. They will feed the round, no problem. But, and this spring is so strong, it's even hard to get it to move, but you could grab it with your fingers and pull it out to there, see? And in that case, obviously, it's not going to work. So if I got to test it at the range, if I push it in and it stays here, we're good. But it's not optimal. If you really needed to rely on it, if this little tab here got bumped or anything pulled the mag or moved it, the mag would move. So it fits, but it doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not cycling any rounds through it because I'll probably wind up cutting my hand apart. Now I can't get it out. It's really tough. This spring right here is really tough. You could probably do with like being lightened just a tiny bit, but I'm not messing with it. I have a feeling that if I do that, I'll never be able to get it taut again, and that might make it not hold the magazine in the right spot. You don't want to mess around with the location of this mag when it's inside. It has to sit right where that click is. If you notice, like, it doesn't move. And if you lighten this, I'm afraid like if I push this with my thumb, and then you could feel the magazine kind of move around a little bit. So you don't want that happening, you know? Yeah. Slice. Okay, don't buy the Stevens Model 84C, because my review is that it's a great gun, but it slices your finger open. 1945 to 1948. So, what do we got here? I don't have any other info on my paper. I gave you everything I got. Those are the different model numbers. If you have one of those out there, and you have anything different going on, if there's any way you could break down these model numbers, you feel like you could get in the comments and you could straighten out my nonsense. If you're a surgeon and you know how to do triage, and you could help me to get so I don't lose my finger, you could get in here and help me out. I could use your medical insurance. No, I'm just kidding. So that's the model 84C. Is that what it is? 84C. Stevens Model 84C. Yeah, it was one of those things. I was buying stuff. I had a couple of things on the, which, by the way, guys, you're going to be really pleasantly, happy with what we got coming along the lines here. I just want to do it right. I want to do it right. I got a couple of days off now. Maybe I sneak in one of these. I'm not sure. My birthday's Sunday. Got a little bit of busy going on right now. You know, first day of spring is my birthday. There's a lot of spring cleaning going on. There's a lot of obligations, moving stuff around in the garage and getting ready for spring. The birthday. There's a lot on the plate, but we got at least 3 coming your way that are legendary, man. Legendary. So we're gonna have some fun. Yeah, that's the 84C. And have fun with it. Yo, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was in the middle of a big deal or whatever, and it was just somebody just like somebody in the shop just put it down and leaned it up against the rack as I stood there, and I was like, oh wow, what's that, a 22? I mean, I didn't even look down the board, nothing. This guy just went, yeah, you want it? we'll make it whatever. He just literally rounded up. I think it was like $60. He just rounded up to like the next 100, and I think it was like that was like $60 away. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I just grabbed it off the rack and included it. So, you know, it's that thing. Once they're doing the background check, right? It's like you could do one background check for 3, 1, 4. It doesn't matter. So it's like once you're involved in everything, and you could just add anything onto the paper, it's easy to just be like, yeah, give me that one too. And yeah, so that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. See you all next time. So 40 minutes, not bad, right? You should be proud of me. I kept it under 40. Let's take another quick look. Make it 45 minutes. We'll take a quick look. So yeah, look, it's got a nice stock. You know, with these like kind of groovy. Oh, sorry, I can't use the pointy finger. That's what it is. Got sliced there. So didn't mean to give you guys the finger. There's the safety. Nice big bolt head. Oh, I think there's blood on the bolt head, sorry. And yeah, we're used to this rear sight. We're okay with that. We don't mind that rear sight. True takedown, and the stock is about the length of the barrel. So that's the and look at that front sight. That's a nice front sight. We like that front sight. There's the crown cut flat off, but boom. Let's measure it. Let's see what the stock measures. And the where's my ruler? All right, got it. So here we go. So let's measure. If you took it apart, the stock would be 28 inches. And from receiver to the tip of the barrel is 30 and a half. 30 and a half. So just about the same size. So if you have a bag that's 31 inches, 32 inches, like a duffel or something, or, you know, it wouldn't be that big of a bag. Pretty small bag, 32 inches. You'd be able to take it apart and put the stock and the barrel in there like it's 2 separate units for camping or whatever. So it's a true takedown only because it's just that one screw, boom, and you have the takedown. Couldn't really be called disassembly. Disassembly is like, you know, more than one screw kind of thing. You know what I mean? So take care, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all next time, and stay tuned. Because like I said, we got some cool stuff on the way. And we're going to get a shooting video up there soon, too, with a couple of these. Back to the range. You know what I'm saying? See you all later.
Yes.